Well, looks like I'm facing the consequences of my own actions in terms of my predictions. Andres from Doble Sports. The sports talk show atmosphere can sometimes be, what's the word? Toxic. It can be toxic because sports analysts can be stubborn. They refuse to be wrong. One example that has constantly gone viral, Nick Wright on Fox Sports, for example, he refuses to be wrong on his takes of Brock Purdy not being a quality quarterback for the 49ers. And he would just go viral, just twisting himself into a pretzel to keep this system quarterback fraud narrative alive. And it was just painful to watch. It was so painful to watch that it went viral. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like him where he refuses to admit that one of his takes was wrong. I choose to do things differently on my channel. In my eyes, I make predictions. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong. And there's nothing wrong about being wrong in a sports take or prediction. And when my predictions are wrong, I feel okay owning that and breaking it down and making a video out of it, which is exactly why I'm making this video, because my prediction that América would win 4 straight titles, while Club América did come very close, was wrong. Club América was dethroned last night. Not last night, correct me if I'm wrong. On Sunday night, 2-0 versus Toluca. Toluca won the 2025 Clausura and denied América of a historic 4-peat. It could have been the first in the modern era of professional football. And you know what? I can't be entirely mad. As the best team throughout the regular season and the playoffs, the number 1 team walked out the champions at the end. Toluca entered as the number 1 team and ended as the number 1 team. Congratulations to Toluca, their first title in over a decade. Well-deserved. And how about Toluca's fan base? Probably one of the most slept-on fan bases in the Liga MX. Now, most Liga MX fan bases and home atmospheres are obviously pretty crazy and intense and very hard for away teams to win in. But usually most people will only focus on a sold-out Estadio Azteca for América or La Selección, Estadio BBVA or El Volcán in Monterrey for Rayados or Tigres, or a passionate Chivas atmosphere in Estadio Akron. But Toluca's fan base, come Liguilla and Derby matches in the Estadio Nemesio Diaz, they can create just as intense and incredible of an atmosphere, and they did so. For this game, the tifos, flares, the loud crowd, it looked awesome on TV. It must have been incredible to experience in person. In this regard, seeing the passion for this Toluca team, I can't be entirely mad about América losing this final. However, there are definitely things to criticize in how they lost, which will be what this video will help to break down. With that, the main question, obviously, or main questions, what went right for Toluca and what went wrong for América? Starting with what went right for Toluca, their defense. While it may not be seen this way because of the 2 goals scored, Toluca played a mostly defensive strategy. Los Diablos Rojos only had 37% of ball possession in this game, but kept América's scoring opportunities limited to 1 shot by Israel Reyes that hit the post. Toluca played a perfect park the bus strategy that could not have worked any better. Diego Barbosa, take a bow. He had a great defensive performance with 3 tackles won. Gallardo also did well in the final 10 minutes. Marcel Ruiz in the midfield also was very good on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. If Marcel Ruiz still does not get called up to the Mexico national team after how well he has played, I am going to lose my mind. And then Toluca's offense, who did not create much in this game. They made the most of their few opportunities. Luan Garcia with the header off a corner kick from Vega for the first goal, a perfect set play. And then the penalty, Alexis Vega easily scored that goal. A bit of a controversial call, that penalty. It looked like Cáceres played the ball, so a bit of a soft call. Honestly, for both legs, the refereeing was controversial. In the first leg, there was an elbow to the face that should have been a penalty for América. So some controversy, but that should not be an excuse for América. Not for this América team, who is arguably the richest club in the league, who have spent just so much money on players and building this team up. An América team who is trying to make the case that they are a world-class team in Latin America. Toluca played a perfect park the bus strategy and somehow made it work when for most teams, this style of play would fail. Which leads to the next point of what went wrong for América while things went right for Toluca. And that is, in my opinion, the offense. I had said that the offensive front is where there was a mismatch, and that was what made the difference. I'll explain it more in my América grades video, but América had over 60% of ball possession, but their best scoring chance came from Reyes, a defender. Meanwhile, Toluca drew a penalty on a rare counterattack, and they made the most of set plays. Alexis Vega had a phenomenal game. He has really turned his career around on and off the field, and he will surely be on Mexico's Gold Cup roster. Toluca didn't create much with only 37% of ball possession, but they sure made the most of that 37%. And Alexis Vega was the beating heart of their offensive front. So yeah, just that was the big difference. Just the offense made the most of it. Toluca had the majority of they didn't have the majority of ball possession, but they made the most chances. They created the most chances with the little they had. América didn't have that. Their offense did not show up, and they looked tired and slow out there. It looks like the 3 straight titles caught up to them. With that, final score 2-0. Toluca wins the 2025 Clausura. Congrats to the team and that incredible fan base. Man, Toluca, the city must be going absolutely apeshit celebrating this accomplishment. The first title in over a decade. As for América, this 2-0 loss. You know what? I can do this in the same video. So let's break it down. América's grades for this final performance. Goalkeeper, B. Malagón conceded the penalty kick goal to Alexis Vega. He dove the right direction, but Vega put too good of a shot on the ball. There was really nothing more Malagón could have done there. And the first goal was off a set play, and the header came off like a bullet, just a really fast shot. Not ideal, but not really his fault, so the B grade is fair here. Defenders, I gave them a C grade. Sebastián Cáceres struggled to keep up with the pace of play in the second half, which resulted in him making that slide tackle, which drew a penalty for Toluca. Not good, and I think we saw a bit of his injury history catching up to him. He has recovered from knee injuries last year, including that freak ACL injury during the first 5 minutes against Pachuca and Conca Champions. Israel Reyes was probably the best defender, and he created América's best scoring chance. It's a shame it hit the post and did not go in. That would have been great. A great goal for him as an individual. But outside of that, it felt as though the defense was just going through the motions and really didn't and were unable to push up much when they had the ball. So for a team who has had one of the best defenses all year, they played a mid-tier game in the biggest game in the Liga MX season. Midfielders, C-. América's midfielders showed their age and really struggled to create opportunities. They got completely shut down. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots on target even. It got to a point where it looked as if they were just trying to force the ball into the area, and that didn't help at all. It could have been much worse, but still, this was not a good game from them. Jonah Dos Santos showed his age and should not have been in the game for as long as he was. But it wasn't just him who had a bad game. The same could be said for Fidalgo, Sanchez, and even Valdez. As for the offensive front, I gave them an F grade. Yeah, fracaso. It was a fracaso from them. I called Henry Martin in several videos before the Dak Prescott of Liga MX for being a penalty merchant and not showing up in the big games against the stronger teams. And he proved my point perfectly. In the first game and in his 48 minutes of play in the second game, 0 goals, 0 assists, and 0 quality passes and 0 shots on target. And the fact that he ended up coming out due to injury amid already battling injuries throughout the Clausura season, that showed he was not 100% and really tried to force it and be the hero figure that he is not. He should not have been starting or even playing in this final. And at this point, I don't want to see Henry with América anymore. Like, he might do good against small teams like freaking Querétaro and Mazatlan. But against these bigger teams, I don't trust him. Like, get this overrated tronco off my team that I love and support. Please, please. He's no longer good. The only positive for Henry Martin that came out of this is that Buffalo Aguirre, Javairo Dillerson, and Alejandro Sendejas, they all played just as bad as him in this game. That's the only positive for him. They also failed to create quality chances, but again, it's just Henry Martin. They need a striker. América needs a striker for the future. I don't care if it's Esteban Lozano or a young prospect. Henry Martin is no longer a long-term solution for this team. Head coach, D+. Let's face it, Andre Jardine, he got out-coached. And he made a bad decision of playing Henry Martin, who clearly was not 100% recovered from his injury. I also didn't like his decision to keep Dos Santos on as long as he did. I thought Diego Valdez should have either been starting or been subbed on much earlier than he was. This was one of the rare bad games as coach for Jardine. Meanwhile, Antonio Mohamed, the head coach for Toluca, to his credit, proved once again he is the real deal with Toluca. His 2019 championship against this same América team, which was then led by Tano Ortiz, it wasn't a fluke. He knows how to beat this América side. So final score 2-0. Toluca is Campeón. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of the final? And then who do you think some of the star players were for Toluca? And who had a stinker? Who had a stinker performance as well? Let me know in the comments. Moving on to the final segment of post-Liga MX final reactions. What does this finals loss mean for América going forward into the summer? In my eyes, this is a huge red flag for the team. This is a team that right now does not look good enough or deserving to go to the Club World Cup right now. Next weekend, they will be in a playoff game, a last chance qualifier for the final spot in the Club World Cup this summer against LAFC. América was gifted because Televisa is the owner of the club and they struck a broadcasting deal with FIFA for this Club World Cup. Yeah, not ideal. And América does not look good in how they're entering this playoff game. They don't look convincing, and if they do beat LAFC and play in the Summer Club World Cup tournament, well, they will have to have a completely new game plan if they want to do well in that tournament. We'll find out.